The Big Five personality model trait theory is currently widely accepted and believed that these are the main personality traits that can be found among all people, regardless of race, gender, or age. The Big Five model was developed through something called the lexical approach, and in essence, what this method did is identified people's personality through their own word usage. The words you use to describe yourself and the experiences you have can tell us a lot. All these adjectives can tell us a lot about the person using them. All these words can either describe one's unique traits or describe some other common themes. The problem is there are thousands of words in existence that can be used to describe oneself. This is where researchers used the technique called factor analysis to reduce thousands of these adjectives into their most basic form or element. Similar adjectives were grouped together and made up specific categories, and it's these categories that we consider traits. All these words I've just listed have similar themes and core elements, and one could group these under the category of openness. The Big Five personality trait model was designed by psychologist Louis Goldberg and was later enhanced by psychologists Paul Costa and Robert McCrae. The five-factor model, or the Big Five, consists of the following personality traits: openness, as earlier mentioned, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. An easy way to memorize these five traits is using the acronym OCEAN. Now, each of these traits are measured on a continuum from low to high. There are questionnaires for each personality trait, and the scores on each trait is then combined and averaged. Openness refers to being welcoming to new experiences. One is not rigid but flexible in thinking when new ideas are proposed. The upper end of the spectrum describes highly creative people, abstract and critical thinkers, and inherently intellectually curious. People that scored high in openness are willing to adapt and be open to dialogue with new ideas or propositions that may go against their own stance. Openness tends to decline in some people as they get older, as individuals become more rigid and settled in their ways. This usually occurs when people hit their 60s or 70s. From openness stems the following subcategories. People who have the trait of conscientiousness are perceived as hardworking, disciplined, and organized. This trait can often be associated with people who pursue big goals in life. People who exhibit high tendencies of this trait display strong self-control and rarely act on impulse. Research shows conscientiousness continues to develop as a person ages. People who rank high on conscientiousness like to have a plan in place rather than act on a whim. They plan for the future and are good at prioritizing important tasks relevant to them. Conscientious people are considered high achievers and often gravitate toward careers that require strong intellect. Those who rank in the middle tier of conscientiousness are more balanced and might not have the same discipline or drive than those who rank high on this trait. People who score low on conscientiousness tend to be disorganized, have terrible punctuality, they live for the moment and do not anticipate the future, and make a lot of impulsive decisions. Their decision-making process has little to no forethought. These types of individuals lack ambition and drive to make something of themselves in life. They are like drifters and just go with the flow of life, rather than taking control of it. People who score low in this trait also have more tendencies to participate in risky behaviors that harm the self or others, and are more likely to become addicted to alcohol and other illicit drugs. Now, let's take a look at the 6 subcategories or facets that make up conscientiousness. We have orderliness, dutifulness, achievement, striving, cautiousness, self-disciplined, self-efficacy. This facet means a person is one who takes initiative, is focused, and does not get distracted. The person prioritizes his or her life accordingly from what is least important to what is urgent and allocates their time appropriately. Extroversion describes a person who desires to engage in social activities, is talkative, outgoing, outspoken, and in other words, an extrovert. Those who rank high on extroversion display positive emotions and enjoy being the center of attention. In regards to career choices, these types of individuals tend to go for jobs that involve a lot of social interaction. Those who rank high on extroversion desire to be in the companionship of others and thus seek out social stimulation. They would rather accomplish or work in group settings than work independently. Thus, they do not excel academically when it comes to working independently or alone. Those who are found in the middle tier of extroversion means the person has a high degree of social mobility, meaning when it's time to study or work independently, they can. And when it comes time to socialize, they can do that as well. They appreciate the significance of alone time, but aren't afraid of going out and socializing when necessary. Now let's look at those who score low on extroversion. These people are considered introverts, which is the opposite of an extrovert. They prefer to be alone and sometimes lack social skills. However, they excel academically. These individuals may have fewer friends, but more meaningful and lasting friendships, unlike those who rank high on extroversion who may have many friends that are casual relationships. Now let's look at the 6 faucets. The first faucet we have is assertiveness. This faucet refers to being firm in what they want, people who want to take leadership roles and are accountable. They stick to their principles and do not waver. The next faucet we have is friendliness. Just like it sounds, this refers to people who are friendly, to which extent someone is able to make friends with others and exhibit positive feelings towards others. They are comfortable displaying both emotions and feelings in close relationships. The next faucet we have on the list is excitement seekers. Simply put, these are pleasure-seeking individuals that live for the euphoric rush. They partake in a lot of high stimulation-induced activities such as parties, festivals, and other events. They are more willing to take risks or engage in risky behaviors. Next, we have gregariousness, which refers to the enjoyment of being around other people. These types of individuals like going to parties and like being in large crowds, such as the mall. They don't like being alone and thus seek out the companionship of others. The next faucet we have is activity level. This faucet refers to people who like the fast-paced life. They like to keep their time occupied with many hobbies or activities, and they try to make the most of their day. Last but not least, we have the faucet of cheerfulness. This faucet refers to an individual who is optimistic, joyful, and pleasant to be around. Agreeableness. Those who possess agreeableness as a personality trait are often described as people who are kind, empathetic, understanding, and genuine. These types of people are those individuals who want to get along with everybody and do their best to avoid conflict. They'll often compromise to please the opposition. They're known to be people pleasers. They hold altruistic intentions and feelings. People who rank high on this trait of agreeableness are considerate of the well-being of others. They value everyone's input and opinions. They often do well in negotiator or mediator roles when handling the dispute of others. People who score high also tend to gravitate towards supporting job roles or helping professions, such as nursing, social work, or teaching. Another noteworthy point is those who rank high in agreeableness tend to have higher marriage satisfaction with their partners. Now let's take a look at those who rank in the middle tier of agreeableness. These types of people have a healthy balance of trust and skepticism. Now for those who score in the lower tier of this trait, the opposite holds to be true. They are prone to conflict, resolute in their choices, do not seek compromise, seek self-interests first, and are self-centered by nature. However, an interesting note, those who score low in agreeableness take criticism well, make higher salaries, and they make better leaders because they can make tough decisions. Now let's talk about the 6 faucets that make up agreeableness. The first faucet we have here is trust. which refers to honesty and the person is not cynical, but trusting in others. They believe in the intrinsic greater good found in humans. The next subcategory we have is morality, which refers to having a good moral compass and discerning right from wrong. These individuals are transparent and do not find it necessary to manipulate or control others. The next facet we have is altruism, which refers to a genuine desire or intention to do good unto others. People who are altruistic don't do good deeds for the public attention, but do them because it's the upright and moral thing to do. They help others generously without any expectation of receiving something in return for their help. They give their time, efforts, services, and even money freely. Then we have the next subcategory, cooperation. This refers to openness to work with others or as a team. Thrive in collaborative environments, compromise, and do their best to avoid confrontation. The next subcategory we have is modesty, which refers to humility, and these types of people don't brag or try to make themselves appear better than others. They tend to consider everyone they encounter as equals and do their best to treat others as they like to be treated. Lastly, we have the facet of sympathy. This facet refers to people who can exercise a high degree of compassion on others. They can emotionally connect with the plight of others and to a certain degree feel their pain and sorrows. Neuroticism. These individuals are anxious, constantly worried, and have insecurities in both friendships and intimate relationships. Those who ranked high in this trait exhibit problems when coping with emotions. Their perceptions on life is more threatening compared to others. They live in constant fear and worry. They are extremely self-conscious of what other people think of them and take constructive criticism as personal attacks. A hallmark feature to look for with people who score high in neuroticism is rapid mood change alongside impulsive behaviors. Higher neuroticism usually creates poor relationship satisfaction for both intimate and coital relationships. These individuals are more likely to experience jealousy and poor management of emotions. For those who score in the middle tier of neuroticism, they experience the negative aspects previously discussed. However, it's not as consistent, and these negative attributes are usually influenced mostly by stressful situations. As for those who score low in neuroticism, they are considered more emotionally stable and are in control of their lives.